What's up everyone? This video is all about this ICECO VL60ProS fridge. I'm going to be sharing all the details, specs, dimensions, my first impressions, basically everything you need to know about this fridge. And I'll also be showing you how I'm going to set it up inside my Rivian. So for the longest time, I've been using a Yeti 65 cooler like this one. And honestly, this is a great cooler. It works amazing for what it is, but you still have to put ice in it. Ice takes up space, it melts, things get soggy. It's just not the best solution for a longer trip. And I've been wanting to upgrade at some point to a powered fridge. In comes ICECO. They just reached out to me recently, asked if I wanted a fridge in exchange for a review video. I said absolutely yes, and I'm really excited to start using a proper fridge out on trips. So for this video, I've got a lot of details and things to share with you. Let's get started. The VL60ProS is a 60-liter, 63-quart fridge that can be set anywhere between 0 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so it can be used as a full-time fridge or a freezer. It comes with 2 power cables that can be plugged into an AC or DC outlet and can operate at exterior temperatures anywhere between 14 and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. A ICECO compressor keeps the fridge cold, and this has a 5-year warranty. The rest of the fridge is under a 1-year warranty. This is a well-insulated fridge, but it is heavy at just over 55 pounds. The cost of this fridge is $800, and I do have a code, CHARGEOVERLAND, that will get you 12% off any ICECO fridge. I don't get a commission on sales, it's just a way to help you save a little bit of money. And finally, the dimensions of this fridge are 30.2 inches long, 18.5 inches wide, and 18.1 inches tall. All right, what's included with this fridge? There's quite a bit of stuff. You've got a user manual, pretty standard stuff there. There is a tool and a couple extra bolts to remove the handles if you want to do that. And there's also an extra drain plug, and that's a nice thing to have because it's pretty small, could get lost. Then you've got a cable to plug into your standard wall outlet, and also a DC cable to plug into a 12-volt or cigarette lighter. This is where things get kind of interesting. The corners are replaceable. So they've included 4 of these little caps. If you were to damage one of the corners, I guess you can replace them. And then the last thing is an entire extra handle. To me, the handles feel pretty solid. They don't feel like they're going to break, but I guess if they do, it's nice that they've included an extra one. The overall appearance of this VL60 Pro is pretty cool. ICECO has a lot of different fridges with different finishes, but I do prefer the aesthetic of this Pro line. It looks rugged and protected, and we'll definitely see over the coming months how it holds up. So opening this fridge for the first time, the handle mechanism is a little bit strange, but once you get used to it, it's not too bad. It pivots along the long edge, but this is kind of a cool feature. There's a handle on both sides, so I can open it either direction. And if you push both of the handles in, you can actually easily remove the entire top, which I think probably makes it easier to load, unload, and also clean this thing out. On the interior, you've got a metal mesh basket that's pretty good size that comes with this and should make it easier to load up food and drinks in your house and then just drop this in here when you're ready to go. There's a light just on this end, no light on this side, unfortunately. Drain plug is down in the bottom corner here, and that's not a twist or anything, you just pull that out. Basically, the entire interior of this is finished in metal, which I think will be better for cleaning and probably better for odor resistance as well. So we'll see on that, but I think that's gonna be a good thing. One last thing that stands out a little bit, the seal on the edge here is quite minimal. So when this thing's closed, I don't have any air coming out right now, but I'm just wondering how that's gonna hold up over time. So that's something we'll have to pay attention to. One thing I have noticed about this basket, it's cool functionally, but it is not snug in the fridge. So it can move around quite a bit. And when it's in your vehicle, it is loud. You can hear it rattling. I've already experienced this. So this is something where I'm not sure the functionality of having the basket is going to be worth the noise of it rattling around. But I think I may end up just taking this out completely. Back on the outside, the handles feel really solid. You can also position them basically wherever you want and they'll stay put. They don't snap shut, which I do like. Also, 2 screws here. You can pull these off and remove them if you really need the extra space. Your display and controls live on one end of the fridge here, and they're pretty straightforward. This first number that you're gonna see, and that just kicked off because it reached temperature, but this is the temperature inside the fridge. That light will be on as it was just a few seconds ago when it's actively cooling. And then you can change the temperature with these plus and minus buttons. One thing I've noticed that's a little bit strange is the jump in temperature is anywhere from 1 to 2 degrees. So it's not a 2-degree jump all the time, but it's not 1 degree either, which is a bit weird. But you have a really good range of temperatures you can set this to, and you can also change it to Celsius if you want to display in Celsius. Next, you've got 2 different settings for the power of the compressor. In max, it's going to run the compressor at maximum power, so it'll cool the inside of the fridge faster. But when you have it in eco mode, it's going to use a little less power for the compressor and take just a little bit longer, so you can use this if you're trying to conserve a little bit of energy. Right in the middle, you've got your power button. That one's pretty straightforward, turns it on and off. And then on the left is your battery monitor. So this will protect whatever power source you're using. When it senses a low voltage, it will cut the unit off. So this is basically how soon it will cut off the power. There's a low, medium, and high setting, and I will display what those numbers are overlaid on this video right now so you can kind of see what the range is for each of those settings. At the bottom, you've got a DC outlet for that plug. There's another one of these on the other side of the fridge, which is pretty convenient if you don't want the cable coming out this side. Your AC outlet is here, and there's only one of those on this side. And then you've got 2 USB ports that can be used if you've got the fridge plugged in. So this doesn't work as a power bank. You can't use those to charge other devices unless the fridge is plugged in, but it is nice to have those as a feature. So on the topic of controls for this fridge, unfortunately, there is no phone app functionality with this specific ICECO fridge. They do have some that let you check the temperature and control them from an app. This is not one of them, unfortunately, and I gotta say I'm a little bit bummed about that. All right, so what I wanna do next is run this fridge overnight for 12 hours. I've got it plugged into a Jackery power bank. It has 100% battery, and this is a 300-watt power bank. It's not a huge one, but it should be plenty to power this thing overnight. Right now, we've got the fridge in max mode, so it's using as much energy as possible to cool the fridge down as quickly as possible. So I've got the fridge set to 36 degrees. And the ambient temperature in the fridge right now is 68. And let me grab the temperature in the garage here. So we're just after 9 o'clock and the ambient temperature in here is 74 degrees. I'm guessing it'll drop a couple degrees overnight, but probably not too much. So probably be right around 70 degrees when we check it in the morning. All right, so we're gonna leave it in max mode. I'll check back in a little bit just to see when it actually reaches that set temperature. This is where it would be nice to have an app to check it, but I don't have that. So I can log when it reaches the set temperature, and then we'll check back in at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. I checked back in on the fridge after just under 30 minutes and it had already reached its set temperature, but it had used 7% of the Jackery's power already. We'll get a little bit more into those numbers in just a moment. Okay, good morning. It's just after 9 a.m. We're at 71 degrees in here. Let's go check on the fridge. 36 degrees, no surprises there, still in max mode. Let's see how much energy we used on that Jackery. Looks like we're at 52%. What I'm gonna do is share a more detailed screen of the numbers with you right now. So here are the final numbers for this test. The fridge used 48% of the Jackery's battery, and the Jackery has a 293 watt-hour capacity, So the fridge used 141 watt hours of energy, and that calculates out to 11.7 watts per hour. Now, if we remove the first 30 minutes of this test and update the numbers, this will give us a little better picture of what the fridge uses once it's at its set temperature. Now, this is just a basic test to get an idea of the energy consumption, but there's a couple variables to consider. Obviously the exterior temperature, what temperature you have the fridge set to, and once you get food in the fridge, it'll actually help insulate it and keep it cool longer. So look at this as a rough idea of the energy consumption of this fridge. The last thing I wanted to quickly preview in this video was how I've got this ICECO fridge set up in my Rivian. It fits perfectly in the back seat with the seat folded forward. And after I get out on a few trips and really use this thing, I'll be doing a separate video that's more Rivian specific. So we'll get into all the details of where I'm plugging it in, what the battery drain is like, and a lot of other useful information if you're going to be using this in your Rivian. All right, that does it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone.